Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alan. I'm a professional trading coach specializing in teaching people how to trade, not as a signal provider, but rather I want to teach you to actively learn to read the charts and to understand price action mechanics. So, for today, we're just going to cover an overview of what you can expect for today, maybe even a bit of tomorrow's early or today's late sessions. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, the whole week we've been talking about how we were in this downtrend here, and we tapered first with the white, then with the orange, and we came up. So, for Tuesday's video, I believe I was talking about this triangle pattern or this wedge where we would base off 5-day while at the same time building a microstructure off the orange. And you see us breaking out. Then yesterday's video, I believe we were somewhere at around this area here, and I was talking about how the market had to build more liquidity and how you had to base off your risks off the yellow and off this blue. And can you see it? Literally, we tested yellow a couple times, then finally broke out. So this means that there was strong buying, but our limits were still reached near the blue. And so the markets had to consolidate for a while, basically spending all night building yet another flag with the white and the orange, if you could see those two algos, and then pushing back up. So here in this video, you can literally see what I was talking about. I highlight how you can expect that head and shoulder pattern moving to the upside and how we would at least retest yellow. However, we even broke out of yellow and push towards the blue. So this is where things get really interesting because what happens now? So we are very close to your 20-day moving average here. So this would be highlighted by this red line right there. And this is coming lower, right? So this will probably be retested. However, at the same time, the blue channel has risen. So we originally had this lower blue, but now we are sustaining this buying in this higher blue. So there are now two blues basically sustaining the price. I think this higher one can be fantastic for some of your entries here, especially if you are considering going for longs. You can maybe base your trades off of this, and also probably off the support of the yellow. You're going to get very decent support here. Uh, Maybe this was also the trade for this morning when we started to see the spacing right here and also off the blue, right? Now that we are a bit higher and the price has come up, we could be looking at potential shorts, especially if the price manages to break blue and also create some sort of resistance with yellow. So this could be a possibility considering the price can reject 20-day moving average. At the same time, we could still just create yet another yellow here, so be very actively aware of that. But for the moment, there is no reason to suspect that. Just trust that the price is being brought up in this blue algorithm, and you might see some certain variations of that stronger green from time to time and liquidity building. But as long as we are in this blue, you can consider this to be strong buying or a buying trend. Then any clues that this buying trend is weakening, we'll probably start to see that yellow that I was mentioning. So pretty much that's what you can expect here. We just broke out of this pattern, so I would give this just a bit more time to continue moving higher and eventually try to retest 20-day. At this point, we have to see if the price immediately blows up. Just like in this instance, you would be looking for some sort of breakout and then some retest. Again, with the orange algorithm, probably as consolidation, since that is the most controlled. But remember that the price can also come up here and thereafter reject. We do have some decent liquidity here to build some sort of rejection pattern right there. And we also have all of this as a shoulder, which can be used. However, I don't like this head being so close to the shoulder, so I would give this a bit more room personally. So I'm not a fan of that trade. Um, as I mentioned yesterday, I was talking also about this yellow bear flag that we could have potentially been building. Don't forget about this. I mean, we broke above it and we are trading above it for the moment. So not really an active thing, but pretty much the market, this is how the market loves to build structure. And so you start building some sort of initial liquidity here, right? Which is the shoulder that I was talking about. Then we break out in a stronger version of the algorithm. So this is essential price action mechanics. And then we come back down only to fall back in the control of that yellow. So in case, just in case price happens to come down, you have to be very, very, very aware of this yellow. You can see the importance here as we've gotten quite a bit of resistance and now support here as well. So it is right there, and it is being very important for the price structure overall. So don't ignore it, and then just be very aware that we're also going to be facing some sort of resistance probably here around 20-day. We should still remain somewhat bearish until there is a crossover of 5-day going above 20-day, because that would signal an uptrend continuation. But for the moment, since 5-day is beneath 20-day, I mean, probably the price is just going to want to consolidate between the two until there is some sort of clearer crossover structure. Uh, if you could see it, we also created this cup handle right there, and this is just a continuation. So there is no reason to suspect otherwise that we should start to come down, right? In case, again, just look for that yellow. That yellow is going to be key, and also this blue that is sustaining the trend. And then again for longs, so entering long now is a bit tricky, right? Because you have all of this move literally behind you. So risk to rewards are not ideal at this point. If you want to take a long, you have to be very patient. You can take with smaller contracts of these kinds of structures right here, especially when you see the price basing of an algorithm like the yellow, and also breaking out of an algorithm like the white or even the orange with a bit less ideal risk to reward. But if you continue buying off support, that should always be a good strategy. So try to wait here for the price to maybe retest the next blue, and you set your stops. And in case this blue fails and comes down, you lost very minimal money. So this is about minimizing your risk, right? You're not always going to be right. There is a chance that the price is always going to do the unexpected. So for example, here I was holding some contracts to the downside. I had sold, I believe, right around here, and I literally held them, but I ended up losing a bit of money here at this level. I could have taken my profits, right? But I was expecting some sort of continuation, and then we saw the orange, and I wasn't able to react on time. So it's difficult. It's not an easy skill to learn. It's definitely requires a lot of precision and a lot of awareness of what is happening in the markets and with the algorithms. But if you can understand what is happening with the structure here, your life is essentially going to change if you know how to trade. So, as always, be very careful, be responsible, trade with caution, and I hope that this video was useful for you. So, thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next one.